Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle the Card Guys. I'm joined by Michael Kerrick here. Split finals, but you went undefeated all day.
Yep.
You were playing the new Surge U7 deck.
Yep.
And like I said, clean sweep. Good stuff today. What were your matchups like?
I played Blue round 1 versus Donald. It's a pretty guaranteed matchup for U7. I'll explain why when we go into the deck profile.
Yep.
Played Cooler round 2, also another pretty guaranteed matchup for U7. We'll explain later. Then I played 2 Piccolo hand controls back to back. That matchup is guaranteed if the other player doesn't know how to play it. And I feel like just people didn't have the experience in that matchup. But if they know how to play it, it's more of a 70-30 in favor of U7. Then I played against Jiren round 5. That match was probably my hardest matchup, mainly because Cell blows out this deck way too early before it can get standing. But we managed to win that. Then we went back into the top cut. We played against Cooler. Once again, it's just another auto-win matchup. And then we played against Boo, which, as mentioned, was another auto-win matchup. So I got lucky with my matchups today. If I match up into Gohan at all, that's real tough. If I match up into, like, Demigra, that'd be real tough. So
Yeah.
I just dodged it.
I remember when I was talking about the top 8, you were like, is there any Gohan top cut? I was like, no. He goes, all right, we're playing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
So,
well, let's see the list.
all right, man. So we played the new Surge Coup. This leader's kind of nuts. A lot of people misread this leader. It says activate battle once per battle. You can discard an extra card, any extra card. Doesn't have to be red, blue, doesn't have to be multicolor. And then you can choose up to 1 life and then draw a card. And then you can do that every battle throughout the turn. So that's nuts. His Awaken is whatever. It's Awaken Surge. On his backside, you almost never use the first one unless you're trying to play for the Victory Strike. That'll come up later. I'll explain that as we get in. But the first effect is if you have a U7 in play, not including him, you can draw a card, and then you can look at your opponent's hand, rip out an extra card, usually a negate, or a 35k or less battle card, usually UI if you're doing that.
Sure.
And then the second effect, which you use a lot, is you can pick up to 3 different multicolor extra cards from your warp and or drop and put them in your hand, which is nuts. And I'll explain that when we get to some tech choices.
Yeah, really. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, this is next level.
This deck is ridiculous. All right, we'll start with our mono blue package. We got 4 tops. When I first approached this deck, I thought I'd only play 1 or 2 because I was like, man, you only need to see this card once. Then I realized you want to open this card.
Yeah.
The dream opening for the deck is to have 2 of these in your hand. You'll charge 1, play the other. But addendum to that, you don't need the card to win. It just helps set up your deck. But if you don't see it, and people play the Piccolo game too if they play green. So like if they pop it, don't fret, just play without it. We played 4 beans because the deck does suffer early game, but it does play a lot untap. Our leader on the front side is a 10k, but with all the extra cards in the deck, it may as well be a 15k base. With Bean, it's a 20k base for a lot of the early game turns. So Bean just wins out all your early game aggro matchups.
Sure.
Additionally, no matter what, if we see 2 mono blue cards, we're trying to charge mono blue into top turn 1. So we're just trying to max out on mono blue here.
Okay.
I say that, and then I only play 3D magics. If I were to play this deck again, I'd play 4D magics. I'm gonna be honest, I only played 3 because I only had 3 foils. But the D magic is nuts, obviously. Like the whole deck works around untapping mana. If you don't know how this card works, I wouldn't play the deck. We're gonna go into the actual Invoked Spells setup. So we're gonna play 12 of each spell, starting with the first one. Emperor's Death Beam. This card is absolutely ridiculous.
Bonkers.
Especially in an Invoker deck. Like in a Cooler deck, it's balanced, it's 3 mana. In an Invoker deck, it's 1 mana, destroy anything. That's not a secret rare, practically.
Not fair.
And it's activate battle and activate main. A lot of people don't know that, so they don't play around that. You just take cards out.
It's literally Shugesh Kid Goku.
It's insane. To join the Death Beams, we have 4 royal combinations. The reason why I play 12 copies of the Invoker spells is because you always want to be able to ditch one turn 1, 2, and 3 to be able to cycle through your deck. So a lot of people are trying to play 2 copies or 3 copies of some stuff that they might not want to play. But if you ditch 1 of each on your first 3 turns or first 3 discards, you're set for the game. Because when you use your leader effect on the backside, you want to pick up 1 of each. So it just seems obvious, right? This card needs no explanation. In this deck, it's 1 energy, kill off anything that's not a secret rare, Foo Shrouded, a mystery. If you set up your Victory Strike or your 6 energy turn with a Vegeta on the field and they try to UI, this actually beats out UI. You can just invoke this out, send the UI to the bottom of the deck, they no longer UI your card. Probably the second best card of the game.
Ridiculous.
This card's insane. They should errata it to be once per turn. It's one energy, deal 1 damage. You can play 6 in a turn if you're good, or 5 in a turn and burn 2 more. You can take me from 7 to 0 without interacting with them once. I hate that. But the card exists, so why not play, right?
Yeah, here we are, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure how many other decks are playing this, but I'm playing 4 combo attacks.
I love this card.
In this deck, it's a 0 energy return a 5-drop problem. It's how we make the Boo matchup just so free. So Boo players think they have to beat this deck on turn 2. On turn 2, you can just play this, bounce out their Boo. They never get to start their chain again. You go to turn 3 safely. This card's insane. If you are just starting to play this deck, learn to discard 1, so you always have it in the grave for your leader effect, and then you can start charging the rest if you need to.
Okay.
Card probably is the MVP of the day. Not for its actual board wiping effect, but the fact that you can pay 1 red, pick it up out of the graveyard. So versus hand control and versus sell, they can never actually zero you out, because you'll just pay 1 red, pick this up, use your leader skill, attack, send it off to draw a card, pay 1 red, pick it back up, now you're back at 2 cards. Then you can use both of those cards to Surge Awaken. Now you're back at a full hand. Like, you can start refilling your hand. I used maybe the board wipe effect twice or 3 times this game, but more likely than not, I just use it for the red, pick it up back out of the grave. I played 1 copy of this. I played it because I wanted to be able to top deck into it versus hand control. I really regret not playing more. It's 1 energy, draw 2 cards.
Category's pretty good.
Yeah, it's insane. This card is just ridiculous. And at very worst, you just charge it for a free multicolor charge. As we go through the deck, you'll notice I don't play any check lands. The top allows you to play no check lands, or no energies, or no permanents that avoid energy exhaust. So like, you don't have to play dead cards in your deck. No dead hands ever. This is another card that should be either limited to 1 or errated. It allows you to turn on your entire deck on turn 3. It has deflect and barrier, so it's completely uninteractable unless your opponent boards in bad cards. Which brings me to the second point. So game 1, Invoker has like a really strong showing because nobody plays those bad cards, right? Game 2 and 3, people spend their entire turns trying to play around this card. So the play is to just not play it. People will leave 4 energy up on their turn, so that when you play the Vegeta on your turn, you'll UI it, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you're just spending this to buy a turn, so you just swing with lead, discard an extra card, draw a card, and then just pass.
Faster.
And then they have to spend the next turn leaving up the 4, and now you're slowly digging to turn 6. And I was like,
That's funny.
and then they're holding bad cards like Artificial Impact or like C6, and those cards are like good in the vacuum, right? But like in a regular game, they're 3 energy for like kill 1 card,
Yeah.
which is generally not good. So yeah. I played 3 copies of the Energy Explosion, mainly because I want to charge 1 and then see the rest. So if you, this card's kind of insane. It really plays for 3. If you don't know what the card does, Google it. This is insane. It plays for 3, resets 3 energy. All the energy come back, energy exhaust ignored. And then this thing, the first damage you do on either player's turn is increased by 1.
This deck really isn't real life. It's just not.
This deck is ridiculous. But you'll almost always charge 1 if you see it before turn 3.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to ever use it. It's just dead card. And you never combo out in this deck. No, any battle card that attacks you, you just deal with it with the extra card. Any leader card that attacks you, you just take it. I don't regret playing 3. I would not play more. The Victor Strike. It comes up more often than not. So the leader, Bandai made a perfect deck. The leader lets you rip out whatever answer is to the Victor Strike before you play the Victor Strike. Then you play the Victor Strike and you win the game. And that's absurd.
Oops.
Yeah. If you're playing against the deck, don't get cheated. The player that's playing the Victor Strike needs to have 5 red and blue multicolor cards in the drop and a U7 leader to play it. So you don't have to play around it that hard. I would only play the Victor Strike if I'm sitting down across from a matchup where I know it's relevant. So like versus Cooler and Piccolo, game 1 will burn them to death because there's nothing they can do about it, right? So game 2 they panic and they try to keep their life at 8. So by keeping their life at 8, they have to discard a bunch of cards to keep up with it. So then you immediately switch gears and you just play for the Victor Strike. Every time you top, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. If it's not the Victor Strike, you send them all to the bottom.
Bottom deck.
And you just draw through your entire 50 card deck in 4 turns that way. It's just insane. So that's how we're gonna play that. Oh, this also has Invoker. Why, Bandai?
Why?
This is probably the worst card of the deck. I strongly regretted playing this card. I originally played this card because it was a U7 card. So it let me trigger my leader effect whenever I need on the backside. And then like there's a world where it can board wipe on your opponent's turn, but nobody really goes wide. And for 1 energy on we're in this together, you can do the same effect on your turn, but for 2 less energy. So, and then like the games where I did play it, like was a double-edged sword. I played it versus Cooler to like wipe their little 1-drop dudes, and then they like milled me for like 4 cards, and I was like, why did I play this card?
Yeah.
was like, what's going on? This is, without a doubt, the best super combo for this deck. A lot of people are trying a 2-2 split with Backbone in the universe, but you don't need a combo out of any battle card attacks. That doesn't matter. And you have more than enough draw in the deck. As I mentioned, we're in this together. You can always ditch that for your leader effect, then pick it back up, then ditch it for your leader effect, then pick it back up. So you're really plussing 2 every time you do that. Whereas this, and so there's no need to play Backbone. Whereas you have Beerus, a lot of times you're going to be tapping out to play the Vegeta in game 1s, and then the Beerus will save you because you can untap and then just Death Beam something.
Yeah.
A lot of people are trying to play around, you're tapped out, and you're just like, well, we have Unyielding backwards. Trunks. My tech for the day was... Yeah, right? They just made a more broken version that's 0 for 10. So my yellow package for the day was 2 Champas, 3 Frost Deadly Poison. As I mentioned earlier in the video, you can draw through your entire deck in either 4 to 6 turns, depending on how many cards you're sending to the bottom and how many cards you're cycling through. So you don't need to play a bigger yellow package. The ideal turn 1 charge, I said, was the TOP. The ideal turn 2 charge is Frost Deadly Poison. Or if you can't get a mono blue charge turn 1, you can charge Frost Deadly Poison. The reason why we charge this instead of Champa is because this has a blue tag to it. That blue tag matters a lot when you're trying to play Victory Strike or you're trying to play the Vegeta on 3.
Yeah.
Both of them require all 5 colors to be unique, or to be red and blue. So we'll play this. There's a ridiculous interaction with all of your Invoker extra cards where they say activate main, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a multicolor extra card, put it in your hand. That fits FTP's requirement.
FTP insertion.
Same with your leader effect. It says pick up 3 multicolor extra cards. This fits.
Wow.
So a lot of times I'll just cycle this card for a draw early game, and then when I need it, I'll just pick it up with my leader effect as part of the 3.
FTP is about to go through the roof.
And I'll just have FTP. The other reason why I played the yellow package was to fit Champa in. So this deck, like I said, loses to early game heavy pressure. The Cell Xeno consistently beats this deck. You drop to 4 really fast, and Jiren punches you with like an ape, their leader twice, and you're at 4, and then they Cell Xeno you. And like I said, so turn 1 if you can charge TOP, turn 2 charge Frost, and then you can bean out into this for Cell Xeno and not lose the game.
Yeah.
That actually came up in my round 5. He Cell Xeno'd me on 2, and then I just kept the Cell Xeno'd either negated or tapped until I killed him on turn 6. And it mattered. A huge factor to know, I would almost always only attack with leader in the deck. It's kind of like Janemba, but better.
Sure.
So like even if you summon out the Vegeta and you choose to play those and you summon out the Champa, like you don't need to pressure with the cards. Those cards are better on the defense. You're gonna win the game at 6. There's nothing in the game that's gonna stop you right now. So learn to play defensive. You don't need to get greedy in the deck. You'll notice there's no double strike Champa or anything.
Yeah.
There's a total of 13 battle cards in that deck and 37 extra cards.
It really is just spellbook.
It is. It's spellbooks from Yu-Gi-Oh, but way better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my main deck. Like I said, I would change the exploiting weaknesses. I wouldn't play this main deck. For my side deck, we played another Tyranny's Cost. This is our way to beat hand control, like I said earlier. I wish I played 2 more of these in the main. This card is just ridiculous. We played 1 Crisis Crusher to deal with Cooler. The only threat in Cooler, the only way they win the matchup is they stick the 1-drop and then they neg your leader and punch you consistently. If they can't do that, they have to waste cards to punch your leader. So if you just slam Crisis Crusher, you deal with that for free, then they have to look for another one. This also helps against the Gohan deck if they try to play
Try to just awaken and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and since that's our worst matchup, we had to play at least 1. You'll notice there's a lot of 1-ofs in my side deck. I come from multitude of card games, and in this card game, you get to keep cards in your mulligan, so 1-ofs are strong. You also draw so much that you don't want to see 2 of any card. Like most of these cards, I don't want to see 2. I never want to see a second Crisis Crusher. Like after turn 2, I don't want to see this card ever again. So if I see it, I see it. If I don't see it, whatever. Like I didn't lose the game, right? So that's my theory for 1-ofs. So we're gonna skip back to Crisis Crusher. We played the 1 of UI. This is straight up just for the mirror match and any deck that plays Victory Strike. While we can Death Beam Victory Strike, it's more reliable just to hit it with this. In addition to the mirror, this buys you an extra turn when if you went second or if you went first and they hit you, when they play the 6-drop, you have to UI it. They didn't have a Vegeta set up. So this is, I played the 1 over there. It's also a U7 tag, which will matter when you look at my side deck later. I played 2 Whis' Coercion for Gohan.
Here we are.
We just need to see negates versus Gohan. We can't beat that deck otherwise. It's also good versus Jiren. The Cell Xeno punches you, you need to have negates up for that. So we played that. I played the All Too Easy. In hindsight, I probably would play another All Too Easy over Weese's Coercion. Main reason is because early game, if you see this, you can cycle it out with your leader, and then it's still a negate in the graveyard. Also, if you get Celled or Piccolo hand control, it's still a negate in the graveyard.
Yeah.
So it's just really strong. I played my 4th D-Magic that wasn't foil in my side deck.
Disregard.
Yeah, I play We Are Universe 7 in the side deck. So for Cell hand control and Piccolo hand control's only way to beat you is they have to snipe the perfect cards with their discard options. With their Special Beam Cannons, Kamehameha, or Cell's Kamehameha. The We Are Universe 7 lets you pick up your Victory Strike. Lets you pick up... Yeah, it also lets you pick up your 6-drop. You never use it for a searching effect, but it can be cycled early if you need to, but in the matches where you would side it in, you just want to hold on to it. Because they'll suddenly feel more relaxed once they get rid of the Victory Strike, and they'll stop playing around it, so they'll start charging negates.
Yeah.
And then turn 5, you just We Are Universe 7 it up, and watch as the color just drains from their face. Okay, card's insane. I played one begrudging respect Piccolo. So my buddy Danny was playing a ramp version of the Piccolo deck, and I thought that was going to be the best version of the Piccolo deck. I was very wrong, so I sided this in thinking I would only need 1 extra turn versus that ramp deck. Turns out I don't need any extra turns versus that ramp deck because the matchup's in my favor. I wouldn't side this card if I were playing this deck again. I played 2 Supreme Kai Time Regulator. It's strictly just for Gohan.
Yeah.
We have no way. It's another card dedicated to the extra deck to beat Gohan, or side deck to beat Gohan. Just have to see cards. Yep. Played 2 Yema to beat out that Cell ruling.
Thank God
send back to
nobody
3
played
drop.
that deck.
Yeah, I'm really glad nobody played it because that's so cheese.
Yeah.
That's how Eggman got top of the Swiss.
As a result, we never sided this in because nobody played at this event. Thank you everybody for being so chill. This card wouldn't be played otherwise. It does nothing good. And then everybody's siding Cease to Exist / Justice, whatever, Topo, but we're playing these instead. My tested partner and I, Son Goku, in close quarters. If you have a multicolor energy, it pops any barrier card, costs 3 or less. In the mirror match, this is super relevant because if a lot of people are thinking the way to play the mirror match is to let your opponent play their Vegeta first, then you play your Vegeta, Surge Awaken, and then Death Beam it. You just burnt like 4 huge resources to play that. So here you can just spend 2 mana and keep your resources up and keep dragging the game out till 6. It's way stronger. It also, like my buddy said, it also beats out Path. It also has an avenue versus Jiren. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can pop the little barrier creator and then wipe their board afterwards with wearing this together.
Sure.
I would definitely reside this again. I definitely would suggest everybody picking up at least 2 of these for your side deck while Invoker exists.
Yeah.
If you're not playing mono black.
Sure.
Mono deck. And that's the entire deck. I definitely would play this deck again. I definitely think this is the strongest deck in the game.
By far.
It's just it has auto answers to everything, and it plays everything for 1 drop. Like, I don't understand how Bandai could just print a pre-made deck and then hand it to people. But I guess I understand. I guess the balance is that it costs like $500 to play, so
Sure.
it's up to you to play it or not. If you just want to beat this deck, play Gohan. And that's it. Shout out to my friends at home, Team Checkmate. Shout out to my testing partner, Josh Aizuwaga. Shout out to the guys at TBS. Those guys helped me get better at this game. They taught me how to play this game. Shout out to the card guys. I only played against 3 of y'all this tournament, but y'all were super fun to play against. Super great tournament to host, and I definitely will come back. I'll catch you all at Coco.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man, of course.